How we doing? Back at it. It is a calm 29 degrees. Just finished going at the gym. You know, got there a little early, got dropped off, thank God, so I didn't get any frostbite. Little sunrise in the background. It's phenomenal. It's always great when you see a little sunrise in the morning because, you know, there's only a finite amount that you're going to see. But I know why you guys are here. The top 3 ways to learn if you're, you know, my age. And I can, you know, you can learn at any age. But I really only I want to talk about stuff that I personally experienced. Oops, some cars are going by. But I only want to talk about things I personally experienced because I want you to know that, like, there is some sort of, you know, there's truth behind it. Because if I'm just talking and just yapping on, that doesn't really help anyone. But number 1 on this list that I want to start off with is podcasts. And I know what you're thinking. You know, podcast, okay, that's stupid. But I'm serious. Because I think you can learn absolutely anything from a podcast. And because there's topics on fitness, how to diet, how to market, how to, you know, budget your business, how to invest in the stock market, and my favorite, how to travel as cheaply as possible. Those are just a few of the ways that, you know, a few topics that you can learn from a podcast specifically. And honestly, you know, there's a ton of podcasts out there that kind of just talk about like anything really. Like they talk about entertainment based podcasts, and trust me, I think those have their they have their own spot when you're like in life. But I think with the best thing about a podcast is that you can also do anything while you listen to it. You can drive, you can do your, you know, you can walk to the grocery store, you can be in the grocery store, you can be doing your chores in the house. There's so many different ways. My arm is getting tired. There's so many different ways that you can end up, you know, finding ways to just kind of be like, oh, I'll listen to 15 minutes here. Or if you're in the gym, you know, you can listen to 15 minutes of whatever podcast or whatever you're trying to learn. So that's number 1 on the list. See you for number 2. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible on this channel. So this is how the thumbnail is being made. Let me see. Let me just get one more step back. One more view up close. And look, there's no, you know, these are just fake glasses. I took the lens out this morning. All right, before we talk about number 2, I got to show you this right here. If you're trying to lose any type of weight, like 180 calories, 20 grams of protein, so phenomenal just ratio there, but also they taste phenomenal. I'll show it in a sec. Like, look at this right here. Phenomenal. And you're going to be like, is this a sponsorship brand deal? No, I wish, but I'm just not trying to gatekeep good things. Like, it's a protein bar, technically, that does not taste like a protein bar. Like, you have to get on it if you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, whatever you're trying to do, because it's phenomenal. And honestly, that's what we're doing on this channel. Not gatekeeping, but I will sell out. Okay, so getting back to number 2, and I might be eating this, like, during it. But number 2, we're going to put a slash here. We're going to talk about Google/YouTube for the best ways to learn stuff for, you know, like my age, or any age really, but I can only talk to my experience. And I would put a slash here because if we look at Google, like, you're going to probably look up most of the things on Google, and it's going to take you to a YouTube video anyway. And I put YouTube at number 2 because I'd rather be able to do other things while, like, I'm listening to someone talk about stuff. So, like, I'd rather be in the gym or, you know, drive. So that's why it's at number 2, but I think it's still phenomenal where you can look up almost anything and you're going to be able to find whatever information you are. And I like using it for marketing, how to go to the gym, how to do a specific, like, workout in the gym, because that's how we all learn. And then, you know, how to diet, what's the best way to do push-pull legs, or that's a gym, you know, sequence. How to do social media marketing. Honestly, I think I learned more on YouTube and, you know, on Google, so YouTube, more on YouTube than I did in school. And I think that's crazy, but I don't know. Maybe some other people have the same experience as I do. Or it's like if I'm trying to, like, how to make a thumbnail. Or, you know, what's the best way to make a thumbnail for a video. And I think stuff like that on YouTube is so insanely just helpful for anyone. Whether you're 90 or, you know, like me, 22 years old. And then also the only thing on YouTube is that I think people are a little less descriptive because they use, you know, like the visual aids more, because that's what, you know, you're going to do if you have the opportunity to put some graphs, Venn diagrams, anything else, bar graphs on the screen, you're going to do it. So that's what I think about YouTube. So that's why I put it at number 2. A little less descriptive when it comes to just like if you were to listen to it only and you're forced to watch it. Hope that makes sense. See you for number 3. All right, we got the cooking hat on and we're back for number 3. And number 3 on what we're going to do to, learn in life is we're going to look at books. And I know that seems like a super simple answer, but I put books at number 3 because I think the biggest thing that we want when you're like learning is we want it to be easy. But I think that books kind of make it the hardest because you actually have to sit down and read. Mind you, I also think that's one of the benefits of a book compared to like a podcast or YouTube is because you really, really, really have to focus on sitting down, taking in the information, and really like if you want to write a little bit in the margins and be one of those people who mark up your books, you can look real pretentious that way. And I know people are going to be, what about audiobooks? And if we're talking about audiobooks, then you might as well just listen to a podcast. And I think when you look up like, oh, the day in the life of a millionaire, and they say they wake up at 4 a.m. and they're like, oh, I read for 35 minutes. They're not listening to an audiobook. They're reading because they want to look pretentious. So that's what we're going to count. Also, I'm making stuffed peppers over there. So that's why we have books at number 3. And I think podcasts and I think YouTube is just a better source for people our age because, I think it just is. It's easier. It's just more, you can get more information. You don't actually have to pay for it like you do a book. So that's number 3. See you when the peppers are done. It may or may not be the next day of me finishing this out, but the peppers were phenomenal. And also, if you guys are going to stay here for a few more seconds, I just want to let you know, if you have any questions, if you want any recommendations about podcasts, YouTube channels, books even. If there's a lot of people asking, maybe it's another video, or I'll just drop them like below so you don't have to watch another video, but kind of helps me out. So like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. And remember, we're trying to make a community of people just growing on this channel. See you in the next one.